discuss about how Python object serialization using Python can be programmed. So let's first understand what is Python Pickle or Python object serialization. See, in Python we sometimes have to save the object on a disk for later use, right? So this can be done by using the Python Pickle. See, Python Pickle module is basically used for serializing and deserializing a Python object structure. So suppose, look at this diagram. Suppose I have a Python object which is saved on a disk. Now what does the serialization process or the pickle does is it serializes this object before it is written onto a file. Okay, so you are going to serialize this object before you are writing onto a file. So that serialization is done by the concept of pickle. So pickling is a way to convert an object of Python. The object can be a list, it can be a dictionary, and that is converted or it is serialized. In the sense it is converted into a character stream before it is saved onto a file. In the similar way, you can also do deserialization. So the file again can be converted into a Python object. The character stream which is stored in the file can be converted into a Python object by the deserialization process using the depickling concept. So Python pickling is a way to convert the Python objects such as list, dictionary into a character stream, and depickling is the reverse operation. So to perform this operation there is a pickle module which is generally present, which was actually taken from the language C, and now an advanced version of pickle module called as C pickle is there in the latest version of Python. But since if you are working on Python 3.0 version, then C pickle is you won't be able to use a C pickle, but for the today's operation it's just enough that if you import the pickle module to your Python script. So let's first understand how we can serialize a Python object using with C pickle. In our case you can use C pickle or just pickle module. Okay, so let's first learn this first process where I'm going to convert the Python object into a character stream, or how do we perform serialization using pickle. So the first step is you have to import the module. You can import C pickle as pickle if suppose you have C pickle in your Python version. Now the difference is C pickle is way or even 1,000 times faster than pickle module. Or if you don't have C pickle, just import pickle into your Python script. Next, let's create a Python object. Let's suppose I'm creating a dictionary object like this. Okay, so there are just two key values here in our dictionary object, color and value. Under color key I have two values, white and red, and under the value key I have two values, V5 and 7. So this is just a simple dictionary object that I have created. Now let's perform serialization. To perform the serialization of this data object, I am using the function called as dumpS function, which belongs to the pickle module, or you can also use it from the C pickle module. So dumpS function method I am calling, just write here pickle.dumpS and pass the argument as the data object which you want to serialize. In our case it is data, and the value which is returned is stored in this variable called as pickle_data. So basically what is there under this pickle_data? You will be having the character stream, or you will have the serialized dictionary object in your pickle_data. So we will also visualize that and see how it looks. After that, see, once the file is ready, you can easily now use this pickle_data for transmission to maybe you can do it over a socket, or you can do it using pipes. Okay, so suppose the transmission is done, right? So this first part is over and the transmission is done. Now we are at the receiver side. So at the receiver side we will have to do the deserialization. So how do you do deserialization? Deserialization means now I'm going to do the reverse process, convert the character stream into the object module back again. So we are going to do a reconstruction, right? Reconstruct the serialized object, or we also call it as deserialization. We will do it using the function called as loadS, which belongs to the pickle module. So you just say pickle.loadS, and now argument you have to give this pickle underscore data, which is basically our pickle file, which contains the character stream. Now I'm writing it back to a variable called as endframe, and when you visualize this endframe, you should be able to see that it should be same as the data. So endframe should be equal to data, and there should be no loss of information. Okay, so in this session what we have learned, two main functions, dumpS and loadS. Now there are two belonging to the pickle module. Now pickle also has a function called as dump. The difference here is dump, if you just use dump function under pickle module, it will write the data to a file. But if you write dumpS function, it will represent it as a byte object. That's the difference. Okay, and you also learnt about loadS function. So what is the loadS function under pickle doing? It is loading the pickle data from a bytes string. And why S is here? S means that the data was loaded from a string. So S indicates here string. So we will see this example on the Python script next. So we'll also do one more concept. Let's now try to pickle using the pandas. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, let me first create a data frame. Okay, so after creating a data frame, pd.dataFrame, just in a normal way, and frame is basically going to contain the data frame. Now I am going to convert this data frame to a pickle file. So how do you do this? Just say frame.to_pickle, and as argument give a name of a file which you want to create. Okay, so what I'm doing in step 2, call a data frame. Under that you call the to_pickle function, and the argument would be the create a file name. You have to create a file, and under that that file will now going to contain the pickled format of your data frame. So once this line is executed, if you go into your working directory, you should be able to find a pickle file under this name. Okay, and after that you have to see it, right? So open the pickle file. How do you open it? Just use a simple command of pandas pd.read_pickle and give that file name which you just created. Okay, so what you have to remember here is we don't have to import the pickle cpickle module here. It just works like that because under data frame I'm calling this to_pickle. That is one thing you have to remember. And what we have also learned here is I have done pickling as well as unpickling using the pandas library. That is one thing that we learned here, right? Using pandas library, I can do pickling as well as unpickling. In step 1, using the pandas library PD, we have done that. We have called the to_pickle and the read_pickle function. And one more very important thing that you have to remember is the pickle formats which are generated. Of course, that would be basically this is used for transmission, right? Over the pipe or a socket, on a network, basically for transmission. But it is not really secure, right? It was not really designed. This pickle format which we have generated now is not safe. It is not secure. So that is one thing you have to remember. And the second thing is we saw that right here the panda is doing this pickling operation, and that is completely implicit. We were not able to see exactly how the conversion happened. I did not really see how the data object data frame was converted into a character stream. So that means for any data analyst, it's very easy, right, to do pickling operation. We are not really seeing what's the underlying operation that takes place. So it's very easy to create a pickle file. So let's now go to the Python script and see how this works. See, I have to first import the pickle module. I have also imported pandas because later I'll be using pandas to_pickle for doing the pickling operation. I am also importing numpy because I want to create a data frame later. So let's execute this. Now let's do the first part. The first part where I'm doing serialization without the pandas. Without pandas we'll be doing. So without pandas, what I discussed is let's create a object. Let's create a simple dictionary object. Okay, let's visualize what's under this dictionary object. So this is a dictionary that we have created. Now I'm going to convert this. I'm doing serialization of this dictionary object, or I'm going to convert this data object into a pickle file, basically, which would be having character strings. So how do you do it? call the pickle module. Under that I'm calling the function dumpS and give the argument that is the name of the dictionary which I will be converting. So now let's see what is there in this pickle data. As we know, basically the serialized data or the character streams of this dictionary should be there in this. So when you visualize this, you can see that, right, this is basically the character stream. The dictionary object has been serialized and converted into a character stream. Now this pickle data is ready for transmission. So after at the receiver side, right, I want to now reconstruct it back, or I want to do deserialization. Then under pickle, just call the load s function and give the argument as this pickle data. Right, when you execute this, I'm putting this value back into n frame variable, and this n frame should be equivalent to the dictionary object. That means there should be no loss of data. Okay, now let's see the second example. In the second example, we will do pickling with pandas. So in this case, I've created a data frame, pd.data frame, something like this. Now if you visualize the frame, this is the data frame which I have created. Now I'm going to convert this, or I'm going to serialize this data frame into a pickle object. So how I'm doing, since I'm using pandas here, for that data frame, under that you call the to_pickle function. And now the argument what I'm giving a file name which doesn't exist in my Jupyter notebook. See, I'm creating a file called as frame1.pickle. Right? So if you go to the directory, I don't have any file called as frame1.pickle. Okay. So now when I execute this, right, if it is successful, what happens is this data frame is converted into a pickle file, and this file would be created in our home page or in our directory. Frame1.pickle should be created. Yes, it's created here, frame1.pickle. So this frame1.pickle now contains the pickle file of the data frame. Now at the receiver side, you want to depickle it, or you want to deserialize it, or let's see, I want to open this pickle file. So how do you open this pickle file? Just say pd.read_pickle. So see, at the receiver side, right, what I've done, I've used the read_pickle, which is actually deserializing, as well as we are able to get back the data frame which we had created at the transmitter side. Okay, so this was a quick discussion about the pickle Python object serialization. So try this example in your system, and any doubts just let me know. Thank you so much, and please subscribe to the channel. Thank you.